I'm going to begin, Gemma, by asking, I mean, tonally, this film is quite a tough one to get right because it walks that line between comedy and pathos in quite a remarkable fashion, really. Was there ever kind of any initial kind of apprehensions in that regard? Were you always quite confident, given the kind of production team behind it, the producers, the director, that they were going to get it spot on?
Well, when I read the script, I thought, wow, this is really, how do you get this right? Because it's true, it's really, really, really difficult. And but then, you know, Amanda Posey, Stephen Woolley, two fantastic producers, and then Lona, who is actually kind of the perfect director for this film, because all of her films kind of tread that fine line, as you say, between kind of pathos and comedy, sometimes simultaneously. And then, you know, with actors like Bill Nighy, who managed to kind of he is kind of the master of that, I think, of conveying comedy and tragedy at the same time. But yeah, there was a moment where I thought, when I first read the script, I needed to have a chat with Lona before I committed to it, because I thought, oh, it could go so wrong, but thankfully it didn't, and it's what makes the film so special, I think.
And in many regards, it's a real kind of celebration of cinema as well. I mean, does it feel like quite a nice reminder in that regard? Because obviously with the rise of kind of home entertainment and Netflix and stuff, this film's very much about that kind of collective experience of watching a film together at the pictures.
Yeah, it really is. I think, you know, I'd love for people to kind of watch this film and think, we should go to the cinema more often. It's really a good thing to do. It is a really special thing, going to the cinema, the event, and, you know, watching a film on the big screen and being moved by it and looking around. Or, you know, some of my earliest cinema memories of, you know, hearing people crying behind you or whatever. You're thinking, why are you crying? It's not even... But it's still something that you're sharing rather than being on your own. It is an art... You know, going to the cinema is starting to die out a little bit, and I think it's really sad. But, you know, films like this maybe can inspire people to keep going.
And that's not the only thing I think that makes this film quite sort of timely. I mean, obviously with the kind of recent Brexit stuff, the whole country feels a little bit kind of divided. And this film very much celebrates that sense of community as well, when people were working together for the kind of the sort of greater good, I suppose. Do you think that also makes this film, quite kind of important right now?
Yeah, I think it is quite timely. There are so many reasons why, but it's all about, you know, even when, you know, people are divided at the moment and it's a strange time, but in desperate times people come together, and I think we saw that, you know, with recent events in London, you know, when disaster strikes, people do come together, and I think the Brits they're pretty good in that way, and I think there's this kind of British sense of humour as well is something that comes through. I love that about the Brits. We are quite self-mocking and self-deprecating, but we've got a good sense of humour, and I think that's what we need right now, a little bit of like humour.
And I was just wondering too, I mean, because obviously when I've interviewed you before for this quite a while ago now, but you and Sam just spoke so highly of one another, and it sounds like you really made a good kind of friend in this movie, in him. That must be one of the real perks of this job as well. You're always kind of meeting new people and making kind of new friends, and that's probably never going to kind of go away as long as you're in this industry.
It's one of the things that I love about my job is the people that we meet. I mean, every day you're meeting somebody new, and you never know if they're going to last in your life. Actually, Sam is a friend of mine now, and it is quite rare that you kind of meet someone that it becomes your friend, because you meet so many people. But yeah, it was a good... That's one of the things I take away. And also Rachael Stirling, who plays Phil in the film, has become a really good friend of mine too, and so that's lovely.
And obviously you're someone with a passion for getting involved behind the camera now as well. I think you're getting into kind of producing and stuff like that. Did playing this role kind of help ignite that desire? Because obviously now you're playing someone on the other side of the industry.
Yeah, it's so thrilling watching those writing room scenes. Even when we were doing them, I thought, wow, this is amazing, you know, collaborating and your job being to kind of like throw ideas around and come up with stuff and imagine. I'd love to be a great writer, but I'm not. But I think I really enjoy kind of collaborating with people and brainstorming. So and since making this film, I've made my own film and created my own film, and I've started working on other projects too. So I guess so. Yeah, it's been inspired me in that way.
Because one of those projects is My Zoe, which I'm very excited about, because obviously Julie Delpy is directing, and I love Julie. And I was just wondering, in that, because she's obviously someone who's been directing for quite a while now, but she's always been acting as well. Is that, can you see yourself doing that? Can you see yourself directing too, or is that for another day.
I would love to direct, and I look at Julie Delpy and I think, wow, she just can do it all, and she's she's such an inspiration for me. Yeah, I would love to. I think I've got to find the right thing, the right story that I want to tell. And I made this film last year, which was an improvised film, and I actually really enjoyed that. And maybe going into that, but I've got some things cooking in my mind, but they haven't kind of fully formed yet.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!